Hello guys, and welcome back to our channel. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, then do so by simply tapping on the subscribe button. Give our videos a thumbs up by tapping on the like button, and be part of the commenters squad by sharing your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now today I will be shining a light on a disturbing trend that's sweeping across corporate America. Walmart, one of the world's largest retailers, just announced that it's rolling back its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, the DEI policies. But Walmart is not the only company doing this. There's a growing list of major corporations, including Ford, Toyota, and Lowe's, who are following suit. Now, this move is not only a step backward for these companies, but it's also a reminder of the ongoing struggle for equality and justice. The fact that these companies are willing to abandon their commitments to diversity and inclusion is a very, very clear indication that, for some, making America great again means excluding and marginalizing certain groups of people. Now, in this video, we'll take a closer look at the reactions from different people and explore what this trend means for the future of diversity, equity, and inclusion in America. So with that said, let's get into the videos as different people share their thoughts on what they think and how they feel about this. I'll be right back.
Y'all hear me out. I'm just gonna confess, I used to be a Walmart girly, okay? Like, I would run in that store for every and anything. I have probably spent so much money in that store, okay? I don't know, probably in the hundreds of thousands I've probably spent in that store over time. But I was disappointed to read that Walmart supported MAGA, and not only that, they have gone a step further to roll back their DEI policy, okay? So no longer will they uphold that they're going to have diversity, inclusion of people of color, okay? No longer are they going to have such policy on their books, guys. And that is disappointing because now I'm a permanent Target girly.
As someone who works in marketing that highlights DEI, I am not shocked by any of this. I have seen throughout the year in both the spaces of the sciences all the way down to retail, a cutting back in DEI policies. A lot of these companies just got on board, as we know, to say that they were doing something after George Floyd happened, and it was all performance-based. It was clearly performance-based, because why do you feel the need to roll back your policies now? We know why. And we know you really didn't mean it in the first place. But the companies that are about that life are about doing the 15% pledge and creating inclusive policies for smaller owned businesses that don't have the capital to be in bigger box stores to grow their business. Those are the ones that we're sticking beside. We can leave y'all behind. Besides, the other store is cuter anyway. Okay, bye.
Hey guys, all right, so you've had a little bit of time to think about it. So now I want to hear what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what's going through your head. I'm talking about Walmart and they're rolling back the DEI program, diversity, equity, inclusion program. They're not going to do any more trainings, any more diversity trainings. They're not going to contribute to Pride anymore. They're limiting their exposure to LGBT. So what are we thinking? What are we talking about? What's going through your head? Let me know. Put it all. Let's go. What you waiting for? In the comments.
This is amazing. The world is finally healing. Walmart to roll back some diversity policies amid pressure from conservatives. Bloomberg News reported that Walmart will no longer consider race and gender to boost diversity when granting supplier contracts, and that eligibility for financing will not be assessed on suppliers providing certain demographic data. The fact that it was done in the first place is unbelievable. Let's see here. Retailer will scale back racial equity training, stop participating in rankings by an LGBTQ advocacy group, and review its support for Pride and other events, the report added. We are willing to change alongside our associates and customers who represent all of America. Joining Walmart has been Ford, Lowe's, Harley-Davidson, and Deere & Company, also known as John Deere, not to mention Molson, and the list is growing more and more and more. Apparently, the only people who didn't get the memo, Jaguar, and their boss doubled down after their rebrand aired and it featured a man in a dress and other models. But that's a story for another time. Let's focus on the wins.
Walmart just announced they are ending their DEI policy. diversity, equity, inclusion. They are going to roll that back and stop all their efforts into that. I guess this is what making America great again is all about. We're going to exclude people. This is where we're at. This is what they think making America great again is. And Walmart cites that they're doing this because they were facing huge, significant conservative boycotts to their stores. So I don't know if there's actually numbers associated with that. I would like to see that. Walmart, have your sales gone down because of including minorities? I don't know. I would like to know that. Please show us. I want to see the numbers, because right now it's just a bunch of conjecture. So this is what's going on now, and they're not the only company doing this. Ford has done it, Toyota, Lowe's. I mean, there's a growing list. Now, the land of opportunity, the land of diversity has become a lot harder to navigate. Now, I know what MAGA is going to say to this: hire the right person for the job, regardless of what their ethnicity is. Okay, I get that. In theory, that works. But the problem is those people for generations have been excluded intentionally from even having consideration for jobs. So that's why this is important. I wish everyone luck out there, and we'll find a way through this. I'm sure things will come up later as this gets more and more extreme, and there will be court challenges, and I'm sure the ACLU will be very involved in everything.
Looks like Walmart isn't just rolling back prices, they're also rolling back their DEI initiatives. Surprise! What's interesting to me is that Walmart is constantly getting sued for being discriminatory. Like, they're constantly in trouble for bigotry, and we're talking racism, some disabilities. Like, they are constantly needing to give people millions of dollars because they refuse to do the right thing. So this is definitely on brand, but it does suck to see. It seems like it's against their best interest, and I'm interested in seeing what they do next. I don't know. But what I will say is I do feel like diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI has a huge issue. I don't know if I would say it's a DEI. I feel like there's going to be a rebranding because the brand right now does not work. And I'm saying this as somebody who works in DEI, who also recently got laid off from my DEI full-time job. And I think that the issue here is that people just do not understand what DEI is and how it helps. And when I explain it to people, they always get it, but I'm also always explaining what DEI is, because there's been a huge campaign to undermine the impact of DEI and just make it into, oh yeah, we have this DEI program and it's supposed to help us get more Black people in, I guess. That's not what DEI is even about. But if there isn't people pushing on the other side to make sure that the brand is very clear, it's going to muddle everything up. Typically, when I'm talking to somebody that doesn't work in people management and I talk about DEI, they don't know what I do at all unless I explain it to them. If I say diversity, equity, and inclusion, they think that I work in finance because they hear diversity, equity, that's financial terms, and I'll explain what I do, and they say, oh, that sounds like that's something that's really useful. But before that, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, and they're only getting their information from these outside sources saying that DEI is bad, and they're not really seeing how DEI supports everybody in an organization. It helps with retention, it helps productivity. To me, I think that the rebranding is going to be more focused around inclusion. I see some people say that they feel like it's going to be more centered around belonging. Belonging to me is a little bit too soft, and inclusion seems more risk averse, which a lot of companies are more attracted to. But yeah, the tides are definitely turning. I'm going to see where I need to pivot myself in my career so that I can land a new position. But yeah, times are turning, and we'll see what happens from here.
Quick PR take on Walmart deciding to roll back DEI programs. I do believe that it is because of the right-wing backlash. But what does this mean for Walmart and their reputation? What's up, guys? It's your girl T, your PR and media expert. Remember, when we are talking PR, we're usually talking message, audience, and timing. And right now, the timing for Walmart is a new administration is about to take office. They are anti-woke, so they're about to roll back all of their DEI programs. Keep in mind, most of these DEI programs are for the staff, for the business, for the people that are inside the business to feel included, to feel like they are a part of the company, and that carries over into how audiences and customers feel about the brand. They've done all of these initiatives to show that they're inclusive and they care about their customers, which are usually people that appreciate lower prices. But now, because of the new administration that's coming in, they're going to reverse all of that. But are they? So Walmart's PR game is showing read the room, but for lawsuits. So that's kind of a fear of what might be coming from this new administration if they keep these programs in place. They're like, yeah, these DEI programs and diversity initiatives are cool and all, but Stephen Miller and some of the conservatives in their lawsuits, I'm a little afraid of that. Now they're scaling back all of these minority and women-owned supplier priorities and ditching all of their LGBTQ plus brownie points that they've gotten. Human rights, they're like, yeah, those out the door too. But don't worry, they're still flexing this whole $13.5 billion spend on diverse suppliers. But they're definitely not saying how that will work moving forward. So basically, Walmart's trying to thread the needle of we love everyone without having to deal with lawsuits that could be coming from this next administration. But let's be real, no one is shopping at Walmart for their ethical street credibility, okay? They're here at Walmart for them $4 sweatpants and some cheap snacks. At the end of the day, Walmart is still a mega rich, big box store that is like that one friend that's always talking about, I'm not into the drama, while they're stirring the pot. Rolling back these DEI programs are no surprise to me. Are you surprised? Are you still shopping at Walmart?
So are we boycotting Walmart or not? We already know the deals are not going to be there. There's not going to be no 50% off. It's not like it is back in the day. Cyber Monday is only going to give you 20% off anyway. They got rid of the DEI. They said they're going to side with MAGA. They're not going to do checks and balances for us. So anytime we have racial things thrown at us or microaggressions, they're not going to give a shit. I think Walmart forgot who they actually cater to, which is middle class and lower class people. They may be the 1%, but they don't cater to the 1%. So I say we boycott Black Friday and Cyber Monday. They don't have good deals anyway. Take your ass to Target, go to Aldi, go to Lidl, go to the farmer's market. I don't know where to get toys at these days, but I know a lot of people go to Walmart to get the toys for the kids, but find another place to go. Don't they have like Big Lots? Does Big Lots still exist with toys? Not TJ Maxx or Home Goods because they supported Trump. I don't know if they're going to get rid of their DEI, but put them on the back burner. Can't do Hobby Lobby either. I'm just saying, don't spend your money where people don't want you at. And obviously, Walmart's everybody. That is not of the European descent. So are we boycotting or not?
All right, y'all, I don't even know how to start this video because honestly, this is different than everything else we've done because this is the single largest employer in the United States. We are talking about a company that is worth almost $1 trillion on its own. As many of you know, I have been investigating a massive company now for a while, and I have kept my lips sealed on who it was. Now I can reveal it was Walmart, but something incredible happened in the course of my investigation. Walmart became aware of our investigation and reached out to me. This was critical and honestly turned out pretty fantastic for everybody involved, in my opinion. We were able to have frank conversations with Walmart. And as I've said for a long time, I don't ask companies to take on my political views. I am simply advocating for corporate neutrality. I believe that that is the future because I understand there are people in this country who do not agree with my politics. So it would not be fair of me to force my politics on them the same way that I am not okay with left-wing policies being forced on me and people like me via things like DEI. After various conversations, I am very proud to report to you guys that Walmart has decided on making some changes. I'm going to lay out what those changes are for you and explain how massive this is for our movement. We are unstoppable at this point with a 100% flip rate where we change corporate America and get them back to a culture of sanity and neutrality. Bullet point number 1, Walmart will be removing all inappropriate and or transgender products that are marketed toward kids, things like chest binders for teenagers or books that encourage transitioning. That is all going to be gone. Bullet point number 2, Walmart is going to review and stop funding to all events that could be inappropriate for kids. That includes drag queen story time or pride events that expose kids to appropriate topics. That's all going to stop going forward. Third bullet point, Walmart will be closing their racial equity center. This is a center they had committed $100 million to, and it was a 5-year project. They will be closing that center going forward. Fourth bullet point, Walmart will no longer participate in the HRC's Corporate Equality Index social credit system. This scoring system is what has brought wokeness into so many segments of corporate America, and we are happy to see them no longer participating. There is not a corporation in America that should be participating with the HRC's CEI scoring system going forward. The HRC got explicit explicitly political in the 2024 election, working with everything they have to defeat Donald Trump and calling him every name in the book. It is time for companies to recognize that they need to move away from this system that is explicitly political and embrace corporate neutrality so that everybody is welcome in their stores. Fifth bullet point, Walmart is going to be reviewing their supplier diversity programs to ensure that nobody's receiving preferential treatment on the basis of race, and they will also ensure that financing eligibility will no longer be predicated on providing certain demographic information. Sixth bullet point, and this is a favorite for me, being Latino myself, Walmart will no longer be using the term Latinx in any of their official communications. That is going to be wiped away. I was very disappointed to see it was there, but again, this is across corporate America. So this is a company, Walmart, who is doing the right thing here, and I want to give them credit for that. Getting rid of this, big. We don't want to hear Latinx ever again. Bullet point number 7, Walmart will be discontinuing their racial equity training through the Racial Equity Institute. Again, getting rid of woke trainings. And last but not least, drumroll please for the big one, DEI. They will be discontinuing use of DEI both publicly and privately at Walmart. This is a massive win for our movement. The momentum just keeps growing. This is the largest employer in the United States, worth almost $1 trillion. Other companies are taking notice. Suppliers of Walmart are taking notice now. With Christmas right around the corner, I'm happy I could deliver you guys one retailer that will drop the woke policies. You've still got Amazon and Target acting crazy out there with wokeness, so I'm glad I could give you guys one at least. And yes, we do have our eyes on Amazon and Target. America just voted, and we voted against wokeness. We voted for sanity. We voted for corporate neutrality. We don't want companies funding divisive things, and Walmart is setting a great example here for other companies to turn around. It's not too late. Turn around. People are very forgiving, and we can get back to sanity together and rebuild and make this country the greatest it can possibly be. As this New York Times headline clearly illustrates, the paradigm has changed. Companies need to listen to our movement. We are powerful and growing every single day. We will not stop until we have eliminated wokeness in corporate America. If you love our work to remove wokeness from corporate America, follow me, share these videos, subscribe to my X page. It's $5 a month. It supports our research team. But please tell your friends about this, and let's keep this movement growing.
Now, DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion, is a term used to describe policies and programs that promote the representation and participation of different groups of individuals. Now, DEI encompasses people of different ages, races, ethnicities, abilities, disabilities, genders, religions, cultures, and orientations. It also covers people with diverse backgrounds, experiences, skills, and expertise. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are 3 different but interconnected concepts because they work together to create an environment of respect and fairness. It involves initiatives promoting the equal access, opportunity, employment, and sense of belonging of underrepresented people in the workplace. Now, DEI plays an important part in promoting an inclusive workplace culture and ensuring an effective recruiting and hiring process. It aims to achieve these goals by overcoming unconscious biases, which are stereotypes about other people formed outside a person's awareness, and identifying and mitigating microaggressions, which are negative behaviors toward individuals based on those biases. Now, DEI-based efforts help build a fair society that gives everyone equal opportunities. The moral case for DEI is that everyone has something of value to contribute to organizations and society. Society and organizations must address barriers and historical factors that cause or create unfair conditions for underrepresented groups. In doing so, DEI awareness can help underrepresented people and groups be more equally represented and reach higher socioeconomic standing. Now, rolling back DEI initiatives is really devastating. It's a devastating blow to marginalized groups who have fought tirelessly for representation, equality, and justice. DEI policies and programs are designed to promote inclusivity, address systemic inequalities, and create a sense of belonging for underrepresented groups. But by rolling back DEI, companies are essentially stripping away the safeguards that protect marginalized groups from discrimination, harassment, and exclusion. And this move would disproportionately affect communities of color, women, LGBTQ+ individuals, people with disabilities, and other underrepresented groups. Now, the consequences of rolling back DEI will be far-reaching and devastating because this will lead to a lack of diversity in hiring, promotion, and retention, perpetuating the existing power dynamics that favor dominant groups. Now, marginalized groups will face increased barriers to accessing opportunities, resources, and support, further exacerbating the existing inequalities. And rolling back DEI will create a toxic work environment where marginalized groups feel unwelcomed, unsupported, and vulnerable to discrimination and harassment. It will also undermine the progress made towards creating a culture of inclusivity, respect, and empathy. The rollback of DEI initiatives is not just a setback for marginalized groups, but it's a clear indication that companies are willing to sacrifice equality and justice for the sake of profit and power. It's a reminder that the struggle for true equality and inclusion is far from over. Now, going back to Walmart and the announcement that Walmart did make, it said that it plans to cut back some of its diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And a spokesperson for the retailer said on Monday, joining a growing list of firms feeling the heat from conservative groups. Now, Bloomberg News reported that Walmart would no longer consider race and gender to boost diversity when granting supplier contracts, and that eligibility for financing will not be assessed based on suppliers providing certain demographic data. Now, the retailer will scale back racial equity training, stop participating in rankings by an LGBTQ advocacy group, and reviews its support for Pride and other events, the report added. Now, a spokesperson for Walmart confirmed Bloomberg's report. We are willing to change alongside our associates and customers who represent all of America, the spokesperson said. The world's largest retailer will now join the likes of Starbucks, JP Morgan Chase, and Ford that have modified their DEI policies over the last year in response to pressure from conservatives. Now, Walmart's move follows a post on X from conservative activist Robbie Starbuck, who disclosed the DEI policy changes at Walmart before the Bloomberg report. Starbucks said that he had written to Walmart last week about doing a story on wokeness there, but ended up having productive talks on DEI with the retailer instead. Now, Starbucks has examined and confronted companies over their employment policies. Ford, Lowe's, Harley-Davidson, and many more are among companies that have said they would end some diversity policies after being targeted by Starbucks, according to the Financial Times, which interviewed the activist in September. Now, the changes confirmed by Walmart on Monday are sweeping and include everything from not renewing a 5-year commitment for an equity ratio center set up in 2020 after the police unaliving of George Floyd, to pulling out of a prominent G Rights Index. And when it comes to race or gender, Walmart won't be giving priority treatment to suppliers. Now, Walmart's moves underscore the increasing pressure faced by corporate America as it continues to navigate the fallout from the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling in June 2023, ending affirmative action in college admissions. Emboldened by that decision, conservative groups have filed lawsuits making similar arguments about corporations, targeting workplace initiatives such as diversity programs, and hiring practices that prioritize historically marginalized groups. Now, separately, conservative political commentator activist Robbie Starbuck has been going after corporate DEI policies, calling out individual companies on the social media platform X. Several of those companies have subsequently announced that they are pulling back their initiatives, including Ford, Harley-Davidson, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. But Walmart, which employs 1.6 million workers in the US, is the largest one to do so. Now, Walmart confirmed to Associated Press that it will better monitor its third-party marketplace items to make sure they don't feature S and transgender products aimed at minors. That would include chest binders intended for youth who are going through a gender change, the company said. Now, the retailer will also be reviewing grants to Pride events to make sure it is not financially supporting S-licensed content that may be unsuitable for kids. For example, the company wants to make sure a family pavilion is not next to a drag show at a Pride event, the company said. And additionally, Walmart will no longer consider race and gender as a litmus test to improve diversity when it offers supplier contracts. Now, the company said it didn't have quotas and will not do so going forward. It won't be gathering demographic data when determining financing eligibility for those grants. Walmart also said it wouldn't renew a racial equity center that was established through a 5-year, $100 million philanthropic commitment from the company with a mandate to, according to its website, address the root causes of gaps in outcomes experienced by Black and African American people in education, health, finance, and criminal justice system. And it would stop participating in the Human Rights Campaign's annual benchmark index that measures workplace inclusion for LGBTQ+ employees. We've been on a journey and know we aren't perfect, but every decision comes from a place of wanting to foster a sense of belonging, to open doors to opportunities for all our associates, customers, and suppliers, and to be a Walmart for everyone, the company said in a statement. The changes come soon after an election win by former President Donald Trump, who has criticized DEI initiatives and surrounded himself with conservatives who hold similar views, including his former advisor Stephen Miller, who leads a group called America First Legal that has challenged corporate DEI policies. Now, Trump named Miller to be the deputy chief of policy in his new administration. A Walmart spokesperson said some of its policy changes have been in progress for a while. For example, it has been moving away from using the word DEI in job titles and communications and started to use the word belonging. It also started making changes to its supplier program in the aftermath of the Supreme Court affirmative action ruling. And some have been urging companies to stick with their DEI policies. Last month, a group of Democrats in Congress appealed to the leaders of the Fortune 1000, saying that DEI efforts give everyone a fair chance at achieving the American dream. We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do my viewers have to say about this new development, and what do you think this means for marginalized people and everyone who is yet to be affected? Share your thoughts, your views in the comment section. Thank you for always watching, and see you in my next videos as we bring you another interesting video.